Welcome to the outdoors, friends. At long last, we finally made it, and for once the weather is absolutely on our side. I hope the weather is pretty fair where you are watching, wherever you are watching from right now. But for me, like I always do in my videos, if I'm camping overnight, the first thing to do is shelter before anything else, and that is never going to change. So we're going to be trying out some new pieces of kit and equipment, including a new tent. I know, I'm not really a fan of tents, but for the situation where I am now, I think it would do just fine. So let's get that weird tent set up and join me for some fun and frolics out in the British countryside. As always, my go-to is the old Crusader Vulcan 2, my trusted BRECON of choice for many years now. And yes, I have others, but for me, I just absolutely love carrying this. There was a bit of a hike as we come through location today, and when you wear things like this, it makes it so much more comfortable rather than some of the cheaper Chinesey things, you know. Berghaus brand I've been trusting for donkey's years now, and it's never let me down. And I think you'd be surprised what I've got in here. It's quite a lot. In the top of the bag here, I've got the top pouch. I have a knife, head torch, first aid kit, and it's always pretty much a go-to because when you think about it, those items are emergencies, and I'd rather store them on their own outside so I can get to them quick if I need be. Now, inside the pack, a good little tip which I've been doing for a long time. As you can tell, there's a fastener for the outside and a fastener for the inside, and what I like to do is tether these two items onto the cord inside. One of them is a light, which is red. Red being, if you're using this at night time, it's the lowest colour in the light spectrum. Okay, so it's enough to see what you're doing, and it's not enough to give your position away from miles away. So red, always good, keeps your night vision too. And a whistle, okay. Got myself an O-flex or an A-flex whistle. Brilliant, because if you really need to, of course, get some attention, this will do. All right, so very important items, which I believe are worth tethering to your kit because you do not want these getting lost. So, sleeping bag. We all need a sleeping bag. So we've got the British military Arctic sleeping bag, 1999, rare as rocking horse poo, but I'd rather be too warm than too cold. Okay, and if you do get hot, you can always just undo it. I've never had any problems with this great big bag. It's so thick, and if you was to try and get yourself a civilian sleeping bag made to the same spec as this, you're talking around £300. If you're lucky, you can find these, as I did, brand new, for £50 and upwards. So just keep looking and you will find them. A thumping great big Thermarest self-inflating mat for comfort. If you're a side sleeper, you want to try and get as maximum as you can to ensure that you at least have a half decent night's kit. And the tent in question. Some of you might know what this is, many of you probably won't. It's a Belgian military issue 2-man dome tent, 1999, just like the sleeping bag. Back in those days, kit was good. Now I'm not so sure. So this is the first time I'm going to be setting this up, and yes, I've watched a few videos on how to do it because we got French and Dutch, which I can't speak either. So let's see how much of a pain or how easy these tents are to set up. So it comes with a really cool, actually, a ripstop bag, which is very heavy duty, which is what you expect from military. A toggle there so you can keep it all inside nice and neat. We have tent poles. Incidentally, I've checked all of his kit and equipment, and I've absolutely endorse any of you guys wanting to try something similar. Always check your kit at home or in the garden before you come out and find out that there's missing poles, a zip's broken, whatever it is. It's always good practice. So you've got two big long poles and a shorter pole, and it's a cool little bag again with a secure on the top. Inside we have these. I think this comes in about 3.8 kilos, so it's quite heavy, but to be fair, if you can carry it, you can carry it. It's as simple as that. We've got an ancillary bag here. Again, same camo, same drawstring on the top with a toggle. We have 10 pegs. Some of you guys will probably recognize those from the Polish Lavu. And we got some guy lines. I believe there's 4 in there with all of the toggles. So that is that little bag there. We have a base and an inner all in one. And we have the outer there. Well, I'm not exaggerating. That was an absolute cinch to do. I am not making it up. It was really, really easy. Now, all I ended up doing was putting the camo face down, so the black side up. There's elasticated toggles you can see right in the middle there, and you just put the poles in 2 ends, running through the middle, run the toggle down, and then you just pop them into the little pockets that goes into the end. I did see one YouTube video where the guy didn't really understand it, and he had these poles digging into the ground. Incorrect. There's pockets where those D rings are there, and they very easily just go in. It's not tight or difficult. In fact, this took 1 minute to do, which is really good. So let's flip her over, flip her over, and see what she looks like. There we go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. We do have one shorter pole, which is going to go along and pull the front out like this. So let's see how stage 2 goes with this tent erection. Well, there she is, and I'm not joking, it didn't take no time at all actually. It was under 10 minutes. It doesn't weigh anything. Lovely bit of kit. And there are guide points on there, should you wish to tie them out. And where they are here, the little hole, so you put your guys through there and you can pull it out should you be facing some stormy conditions. But no, it's good. You can get access to the front and the back, they're both exactly the same, and you'd be glad to know that both sides, well, the whole inner is mosquito proof, hence all of the fine netting. And the weird thing is, as soon as I set it up, all of the little midges turned up. So forgive me for not showing you inside, for risk of letting all of them little buggers in there. So for a really cool 2-man tent, well, I would say 1 man plus kit, which is something I've always been a fan of. Really, really cool. And yeah, the pattern is a bit weird, but can you imagine just putting a cam net over there? You're pretty much good to go. So we've got everything stowed away inside the tent now. Look at that. I'm a member of the Croc family now. And I've just got some drink to keep me going. And another good thing which I decided to do is to get myself some beef, and it's falling out in the sun. So by tonight, that should be ready for a beef pot of curry and rice. And now how nice is that? So like I said, that's just a little quick overview of the tent. So let's just have a walk around the area where I'm staying. So we can come down here. There's my tripod. Whoops. And yeah, I'm sure you'll agree, you can find some awesome places out here in the mountains of Wales, hidden away, and we're all free today. How beautiful is that? And that's us right over there. All right, folks, rule number 1, always try and find somewhere comfortable to sit. And this tree is just perfect. So that's all good in the hood, isn't it? And I think we all owe ourselves a bit of a break, you know, because I think, you know, we've all got our own situations, circumstances, whatever it is going on, and I do realise it's tough for lots of people, myself included. You know, some of you know that I've been through some of that crap before. If you're new to the channel, hi, If you like what you're seeing, hit the thumbs up. It really helps get this video out to others, and hopefully it can help others too. So if you are new, I'm going to put a link up there or up there, little bit about explaining about what happened to me over 4 months, all over Christmas, etc. It is an absolute nightmare. I don't want to dwell on it now, but if you want to see what happened to me, I was banned from all social media for 4 months. Yeah, so if you want to watch that video, it's up in one of these corners. All right, so click onto that and it will explain a lot. So that's sort of leading me to make time for myself, and you know, I think it's time well invested. I think, you know, not all of us, but I would say a fair few of us tend to put other people before ourselves, and I think we owe it to ourselves to not find time but make time to have a break. And I absolutely realise that not everyone is able, for whatever reason, to come out and do what we're doing right now. And you know, the channel, I'm not hoping, I know, is going to go mega upwards over this year, and I'm telling you now, I couldn't have done it without the help of my partner Rachel. If you're watching, hi honey. She's been an absolute rock with all of the crap that myself and she was going through. So you know, behind every successful man is a successful woman. So it just goes to show, if you guys do things like this, or thinking about doing things like this, you know, just make sure that your priorities are your woman or your man if you're a female watching this. Okay, it's all about balance. Now what you don't want to do is fall into the trap of doing this sort of thing every weekend. It's not on, guys. It's all about balance. So, you know, every now and again, you know, if you find time to do this sort of thing, great. And also, you know, once you've found a nice little spot like I seem to have here, you know, why not bring the partner along and have yourself a bit of a treat? You know, a break in nature will absolutely do you a world of good. Okay, and you don't have to film all of it. I mean, I'm going to be here for 24 hours. I'm probably going to spend 10 hours filming, and the rest of it I'm going to relax. Okay, it's really good. And you know, when I started on this journey back in 2012, what I wanted to do is to do an overnight camp once a month so I can practice and learn skills. And I've been doing that pretty much since 2012. It's a long time. So it also led me relocating to the middle of Wales and doing a full-time job as a survival instructor based upon the skills that I were learning, showing and sharing here for free on YouTube. And let me tell you this, being a survival instructor is amazing, you know, especially when you're teaching kids the important things. All right, I think, you know, it's all too easy to get pulled away with technology and convenience. But how many times have you been in a situation where your technology has let you down? The Wi-Fi's gone down, you can't watch Netflix or whatever it is. Okay, so I feel that rather spending too much screen time, you know, I don't think it's a good thing. Okay, it's great, you know, use your phone as a tool, don't let it use you as a tool. As it were, you know, that could be a t-shirt, couldn't it? But, you know, for me to make time and to get out into the wilds, wherever it is, and practice things, you know, lighting fires in different ways, in different conditions, you know, testing different bits of kit and equipment. Now, one thing that gets to me a bit is when you watch some YouTube videos and it will say, you know, this bit of kit's amazing, blah, blah, blah. And it's pretty obvious, well, sometimes it is, that these guys or girls have never really used it before. All right. So I'm bringing it back to where I used to do the YouTube videos back in the day, where I would only recommend kit and equipment which I can trust. And some of it is cheap, some of it is quite expensive, and most of it is in the middle, you know. So all I can say is, you know, when times are hard, and I know it's hard for all of us, especially financially, I would say just do a little bit more to get a little bit better quality. Because the thing that sort of scares me now and again when I think about guys you know, watching my videos, or indeed other prepping videos. You know, they will buy the cheapest things that they can get their hand on, don't really use it, and when the big day comes, when they go to use it, it's going to break, it's not going to do what it's supposed to do. You know, it's not good. Okay, you could end up in a seriously bad situation, but not just you, your family as well. Okay, so I do feel it's important to invest time, you know, trying to find channels like this and some others which will tell you the truth about kit. Now, one of the videos, YouTube channels, which I've been following for many years now, is a guy in America called Luke, the Outdoor Gear Review. Now, I love what Luke does because he will absolutely say it how it is, just like myself. Okay, there's no way I'm going to be spieling people into getting kit which is crap. All right, that tent over there, it's great for now, it's new, I've set it all up, it seems fine. I can't recommend it until I've spent some time in it. Now, I do remember watching some videos this morning, and what was happening is that tent appears to be 1999. Whether that's the model or the year, I suspect it's probably the year. So it's going to be, you know, it's been on the shelf for a long time, pretty much brand new, but it does appear that some of the seams inside may need to be resealed, probably professionally if you can, because I would say, as it is at the moment, if we had a heavy downpour, there's a chance it could leak. So all I'm trying to say is, if things like that happen, I will be telling you guys, all right? I'm not associated or affiliated with that tent at all. I bought it out my own money, and, you know, I'm itching to see how it goes. I think I've got, that's the 4th tent that I've got, 2-man tent, and they're all different. They're all different. So I'm a firm believer in options are good, okay? I don't really think you can get one tent that will do everything, okay? It's going to be, if it's lightweight and it's expensive, it's great, but it's not going to be very strong, okay? Then you've got like the Dutch 2-man tent, which I've used years ago now, strong as an ox, but it's heavy. So that's sort of recommended for vehicle carry. So there is options, and I do believe that is the best way. I don't really think, you know, there's one knife that will do everything. There's one tent that will satisfy every climate, every terrain, every situation, where it's vehicle or hikeable carry. So this is one of the things which I'm keen to get back on board with. You know, I did spend a few years, yes, basically telling people how I think it is with what's going politically, and I learned a hard lesson in doing that. Okay, it's not making me feel good, and it's certainly not making viewers feel good. So I've stepped away from that, and I'm going back to this sort of thing. And I know that I've had loads of comments over the years. I wish you would do your outdoor videos where you test kit and you tell it how it is and you enjoy yourself. And yeah, as we say that, the sun's coming out. How cool is that? So yes, I feel absolutely rejuvenated, reinvigorated, etc. My partner and I hit Glastonbury for Beltane, and it was fantastic, and it was something that we really both needed, a good break away from all the madness what's been going on. And I actively endorse anyone to make time to just get outside, even if it's just for a walk in the woods, a walk around a park, take the car down to the beach, spend an afternoon there. It's going to be way better for you than being indoors in a square room watching a screen. Okay, it's literally going to be sucking the life out of you. And you know, one of the things which gets to me sometimes is when people would do something like this and they look back and say, wow, where did the last 4 years go? What did I actually do? Probably sitting down, eating crap food you shouldn't really be eating, watching stuff which is bad for you. You know, I haven't got Netflix personally, but I've got a friend who has. And when I went round there and see what's on there, I would guess by what I've seen on there, recommended or whatever's available, 90% of everything on Netflix is very dark, very bad for you, okay? So it's up to you. Of course, do whatever you want, but it's not for me. No way. I would rather spend time educating myself, okay? I've got tons of survival books, self-sufficiency books, even that wild edible book that I got from James recently, which I'm still testing out, is amazing. And you won't believe the amount of food and medicine which is out, especially right now, spring, summertime. It's insane. There's so many things that can help you rather than going down the drug company route, which will probably make you ill or probably make you be reliant on another drug to counter the side effect which it created in the first place. Bonkers! So I feel, do you know what? Let's go for a little walk around and see how this beautiful stream's holding up. Well, as always, what I tend to do is, like I said, always get the shelter done. And what I used to teach doing the survival stuff, a few years ago now, is just imagine you turned up at a place and you've got all of your kit and equipment and you think, oh, I need to get a fire going. And everyone splits up, they're all getting firewood, all of their kit's there, and it starts to rain or the wind kicks up. Not a good idea. Because, especially in Wales, and so maybe some parts of England. You know what it's like living in the UK. The weather can turn on a penny, and it often does. So, based on my experiences, and I do feel it's good common sense and probably good practice too, is always get your shelter done first. Once that's done, you haven't got to worry then, because if you are gathering firewood, which I think I'm going to do now actually, for a nice little fire tonight by the stream, that would be really cool, wouldn't it? So enjoy me on that. That's going to be awesome a bit later on in this video. But just say it does start to turn and it starts to rain. It could, you never know. So I've got the shelter there, I'm getting firewood, it starts to rain, I'll just put it in the shelter. Okay, more often than not the rain will pass. Later on we got the dry firewood stored in the tent or your shelter. You can take it out and hey presto, you're going to have a fire which isn't going to be producing smoke, telling everyone where you are. Now, the lucky thing is, where I am right now in mid Wales in the mountains, is we haven't had rain for a long time really. So everything basically that you can see around which is dead is dry. So we're going to be selecting only dry firewood, which isn't damp and it isn't wet. Okay, so that is going to give us the very best chance of having a good sustainable fire for later on. So let's go and get some firewood, I think. And here we go, there's loads of dry wood everywhere. But it's really tempting to pick stuff off of the floor. You can, but it's absolutely rotten, okay? Stuff like this, which is off the ground, in the wind, is the stuff that you should be concentrating on. So you can try bending it, and if it doesn't, we got our friend, the silky big boy. Yes, I've been using this for over 10 years now, and I've never had a problem with it. It's fantastic. So we're going to take some of this wood. There we go, nice and bone dry. And it doesn't take long with a nice big saw with big teeth. It just makes a lot of light work. Then I've seen some of the small hand saws with the small teeth, and you're going on this for ages. This thing will save you calories big time. Another good tip as well is if you're cutting towards you, because this is a pull saw and it only works when you cut towards yourself backwards, make sure that your legs are out the way, okay? You don't want to be doing this, because if it slips, that is a big no-no, okay? So always make sure that you've got space where you're cutting, okay? Now, because this is freestanding, I tend to put pressure here on this side, pushing down. That will allow this to cut easy without it getting pinched, okay? If I was to push it upwards this way, it's going to get caught, okay? So as you're cutting, apply pressure with your other hand, pushing it down. There we go. It is as simple as that. And the biggest thing I believe is to be mindful of is take your time. There's no rush. It's not an ego macho race. Who's the fastest? Okay, that's when accidents happen. Allow the saw to do the work. Here's another tip. You've just cut off some wood, which is nice and dry, and you want to break it, but you don't want to keep cutting all the time. Look at this. So what we can do is we can just put the smaller end in first and just walk and break like that. It's just another way of using what's around you in the field without exerting too much energy. So we're carrying on processing the firewood, and we're trimming back this big limb that come down, I would say at least a year ago, maybe more. But what we're finding is the bark is coming off. So when you think about it, bark retains most of the moisture. So the more you can get off, the easier it's going to be. And also, if you are really, really hungry, if you're lucky, you could find some grubs that you can eat, which are full of protein and vitamins, believe it or not, but that's in extreme cases only. So the more that you can get off, what we're going to do is we're going to put it up against the tree facing the sun so we can dry it out over the next 7 hours or so. So there's another good tip. If you can get the bark off, get it off. You can see where it's wet under there already. Okay, so we're not going to be using that bit. We're going to take from here. There we have it. Inside, it's relatively good actually, and you can tell by giving it a tap. If it's got a high pitch sound, it's pretty dry. If it's got a dull thud, it's going to be full of water. So we can take off as much bark as we can. If you really wanted to, you can get your knife and pry it all off, but I think we're pretty much good with what's coming off naturally, to be fair. And we just leave that in the sun and the wind for at least 6 or 7 hours, and it's going to give us a better chance of a better fire. So as promised, so far the little log store is going good. Like I said, it's in the sun, so you can probably see my shadow. It's in the sun and there's airspace all the way around it, so it's going to be drying off as much as we can possibly hope to get it dry. Like I said, you know, the drier your firewood, the better success you're going to have. But how cool is this place now? Well, I just found this, I believe it's rowan, and I've trimmed it off, this little sapling, and I thought what I'd do is, rather than just throw it away, I would make use of what I've got left over of the offcuts and just use it to break up some of that crazy camo pattern. So it's better than nothing. It probably doesn't look much, but to me, I just thought I'd rather make use of it than just throw it away, because it all helps, because you never know who is going to be around. And what do you two think you're up to? Can't a brother have some peace? Come on, Foxtrot Oscar. They're looking at me as if I'm nuts. Well, I kind of am, but you know. Why don't you just go for a walk? That's it, jog on. Something a bit weird's happened. You YouTube creators will probably feel my pain, as it were, but something told me just have a little look to see how some of the footage has come out. So I went into the settings. I'm doing this on my phone, by the way. So I went in there, and the last 10 video clips, one of them 7 minutes long, most of them about a minute or so, none of them come out, totally just gone kaput. So I thought, that's a bit of a naff one. So the footage that hasn't been filmed yet is this stick, which has got my O lantern hanging on there. I just showed the K-bar and just putting a point on the end, some hints and tips about the chest lever technique, but it hasn't come out. So I'm thinking, rather than just go through it all again, I thought I'd just explain. so this is the stuff that didn't come out earlier. I've decided to make a nice little fire pit area right here. You can probably tell by it's all dark, and I've just dug it all out with my gloves because you're going to wreck your hands with that grit down there. It's so sharp. So that's done. Obviously it's wet there, so as we go through until the evening, maybe it will dry out, maybe it won't, but obviously when I put the fire on it will dry out. It's a good spot because the seating area is just right. So that's what we're going with. The river's just over there, the shelter's just over there, and all appears to be somewhat epic. Right, I think it's high time that we rehydrated, don't you? Yes, I've got some squash, but I don't want to cane it all in one go. So rather than carry loads of water, and you can if you want, but I think it's a sensible idea to find a water source and to purify it. Because let me tell you this for free, I don't care where you are in the world, if you take water from a stream, even if it looks perfectly clear, even if it's glacial water, don't trust it. You don't know what's in there. Take it from me, personally, I had Giardia and it put me out of action for 6 weeks. Really, really, really bad. Okay, so water filters, I do not scrimp on, ever. I learned the hard way. Take it from me, don't try it. I'm always trying to find something that's made in the UK. You remember made in Great Britain, how cool it was? Well, guess what? Today we're going to be using this. It's the Lifesaver Liberty bottle. Yeah, cool. What I like about this is its size. It's so small it goes in any backpack and it doesn't weigh anything at all. All you need to do is to prime it first when you get it, okay? I'm going to put a link up there somewhere from the official Lifesaver priming video to make sure that you guys get it right. It's very, very simple, but once it's done, then you can take it out here and you can go for it, okay? It's just so simple. Like I say, one of the things I love about these, they're made in the UK. Personally, I don't want to take the risk of anything purifying water that's made in China. I just don't want to do it. It's up to you, do what you want. But for me, I learned the hard way, and until you learn, it's really bad. So all we need to do is this. What they recommend is you can probably tell there's a bit of water in the bottom. They recommend that you keep at least ½ inch to 1 inch of water in there at all times. It stops the filter drying out and it won't work. Okay, big mistake. Always make sure if you've got any Lifesaver products, make sure you've got at least ½ inch to 1 inch or even more of water in there at all times. It doesn't dry out and it doesn't cock up. All you need to do, it's really simple, is to unscrew it and fill it. Once you've filled it with water, you put the plunger back on, tighten it up, give it 3 pumps, no more. You haven't got to go crazy. And when you're ready to drink, you open the top, if I can show you this, there, and you push that lever to the upright position. And then it will just come out pressurized. You haven't even got to touch your mouth on there, okay? So from my experience, always make sure that that lid is on firmly secure when you're gathering your water. Once it's filled up, as an extra precaution, what I do is I clean and dry off all of the outside, because what you don't want to do is to drink and any contaminated water drips off, then you could be done. Trust me, it's easily done. So we're gonna test 2 products now, this and my boots. Yeah, and if you want to know what boots I'm wearing, they're the German parachute boots. I've had them for a few years, I've worn them in, they're broken in, and now I'm going to be using them pretty much full time when I'm out in the field. I've already been in there and 0 water ingress, which is really cool. So here we go. The boots are good, no problem. So, like I said, we unscrew the bottom and we fill. There we go, it is filled up now. And you can probably tell the water doesn't look that bad, but trust me, it could be, all right? So we put that back in there, we screw it up tight. Like I say, it's always good to make sure that this is all clean and dry. And all you do is a few pumps, take the top off, turn the lever, you're good. So like I say, I don't take any chances. You can if you like, but any contaminated water, It's a very, very bad thing. Only people who have had water parasites and issues before will know where I'm coming from here. And if you haven't, chances are you haven't, then please take a bit of free advice. It's worth doing this. It really is. So we've got our water. Just going to do it 5 just to make sure. We can undo the top. And once we turn that little lever there, it will come out pressurized. Look at that. That's how easy it is. You haven't got to walk around carrying loads and loads and loads of weight. Don't forget, 1 litre is 1 kilo. That's a lot of weight if you want to carry it. So, Lifesaver, made in the UK. There's links below, and there's a 10% discount code. Like I said earlier, the footage that didn't come out when I was carving the point out on this stick that's holding up that little lantern there, is the K-bar. Now this, I suspect there's some history behind this. I took it to a guy who sells knives at an antique place, and he reckons it's from the Vietnam era. So this was available to me, and indeed loads of people, at the prepper meet last year. I think it was maybe the year before. So Chris, if you're watching, Chris and Faye, hi, I hope you guys are well. And yes, Chris, I've been using it, and well done, mate. It's sharp, which is good. There's nothing worse than selling a knife that's blunt. So Chris, top marks. So look at the patina on that. I don't know if it's coming in with the focus. You can tell it's been well used. And yes, I'm not going to insult you. It is very, very sharp. You could probably shave the hair. Actually, you can. On my arm there. So I've got a bald spot now. So yeah, the K-bar, some of the keen observers will probably realize that this outline of this was the YouTube logo of mine, the K-bar. So the outline of my logo is based on this. In my opinion, one of the finest fighting knives that has ever been produced. Yeah, we don't want to focus, but I'll try and drop a photograph of it nice and clean. But take it from me, this is an awesome all-round blade. It's got its limitations with fill juice. It's not full tang, which basically means that the steel doesn't go thick all the way to the end. It's what's called a rat tail. So inside this handle is a thin piece of metal from the original stock. So just be careful how you use it, okay? If you want to be battering and going crazy with it, it could break easy. Its main function is a fighting knife, hence the guard, okay? Very, very handy. But be under no illusion, this is great for doing small tasks. You can feather stick all day long with a tool like this. And if you're gentle and not too crazy, you can baton with it as well. It's a really good fill tool. So there it is, my one of my most treasured possessions. So thanks Chris and Faye. The K-bar USMC fighting knife. Wow, what do you guys reckon? Are we going to be in for some rain? Time will tell. Well, I don't know if you saw in the previous shot, but there's things in the air. So I sort of come prepared for this, and I think now is the time. What have we got? We're coming up to nearly 6 p.m. In the UK right now, and like I say, we're just into May, and yeah, we're by water. Now it's weird, you know, you hear stories about midges and mosquitoes and stuff like that. Obviously they're always going to be congregating around still water. Now where we are here, there's a mix of running water and still water. I would say probably 70-30 in favor of running water. So we're going to try something different. Now I've seen these on Instagram, and I've seen the few YouTube videos, and I was really keen to see whether they're going to work or not. So this company here, Flextail, they have made something for us guys or girls who want to go out in the great outdoors, who are sick to death of being bitten by insects. So we're going to see if this little gadget works. Now we're going to open her up. Here it is. It comes in this cool case. Incidentally, if you want to try this, there's a link below. So that's what you get inside the pack. Now, the cool thing about this, right, this is one of those rare occurrences where something electronic turns up in the post and it's 100% fully charged. You haven't got to charge it up. Now, here it is. It looks pretty cool. I'm sure you'd agree. It looks like something out of the Terminator, maybe some nuclear device, but no. So we're going to be giving this a trial. An absolute trial right now, and we want to see if this actually works. Now at the moment I don't think I've been bitten anywhere, so trust me, they're everywhere right now, right? So if I get bitten to death, then this doesn't work. So we're going to give this a real genuine field trial right here, right now, okay? But not only is this a mosquito repellent device, it's also a torch as well. I don't know if you can see it, but we'll probably see it in night time when it's dark, okay? There's all sorts of different modes on there. It goes really bright and it strobes and all the rest of it. So we're interested in the mosquito thing. Now, the cool thing about this is, you can tell there, it's USB-C chargeable. So you can just plug it into any new phone charger and it will just juice it up. And it doesn't take long, actually. Like I say, when I opened it up, I was shocked. It was 100% charged. So that's cool. It's literally ready to go. And these are the items that go inside. A bit of blurb on there. So yeah, we're literally going to be trying this out for real in the field. So let me see what we've got inside the pack. The sun's just come out, so it's literally right in my eyes now. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of these tabs, and you can use 1 or 2. Well, with the amount of flying bugs at the moment, I'm going to go for 2. So we're going to peel her open. Oh, these look cool. Don't get mixed up with dextrose tabs. All right, that's what they look like. It's got a very faint smell of almost like soap or shower gel. It's not bad, actually. It's not like toilet cleaner, you know, where it's disgusting. But yeah, this smells pretty cool, actually, which is good. So we're going to endeavour to get this out of the pack, he says, without breaking them. Here we go. So we have 2. Now what I think you need to do is you can look on the side there, and you've got these slots, and all they do is they literally just go inside like that. Okay, so that's one in, and we've got another one, and we're going to put that in as well. They just literally just slide inside, so they go all the way through. I feel like Paul Daniels in a magic show. So we put the plates all the way through, and what we need to do is there's a button on there which activates it into heating them up and then giving off an area to repel mosquitoes and midges, because we're in Wales, and the Welsh midges are very similar to up in Scotland. So here we are, the lights are on there, and we're good. So all we got to do is literally, I'm going to hang it right on the middle of my tent here. Let me just move it around so you can see. I'm going to drop it. Luckily for me, there's a D-ring right on the top of this tent. There we go. That's it. That's all we are going to do, and pray that we're not going to get eaten alive out here, because trust me, when the sun comes out in the evening and you buy water, yeah. I went camping by a reservoir once and it was still water. Oh my God, never again. Please don't camp on the side of a reservoir, boys and girls, unless you like being eaten to bits. Right, what I thought I'd do is think ahead. I'm going to be doing my curry soon, and I think trying to stir a curry in a trangia pot with a little spoon is a bit crazy. So I just found a nice piece of green, and we're going to process it with you know what, just to show how cool this blade is. And like I said, Chris, well done for sharpening it, mate. You can just tell how easy it is to do when your blade is sharp. It's absolutely effortless, and to be fair, that's how it should be. If you're struggling to carve like this, then your knife is just not sharp enough. I mean, you can just tell how easy that is. So what I thought I'd do is to take the bark off, and I'm going to, I think I'll probably be better off burning it to sort of clean it, to sterilise it before I actually stick it in the stew like it is. I think it might be willow, but I'm not sure. There seems to be loads of it sprouting off of a limb which is dropped, and I think there's probably about 100 little pieces there, so I just took one. And yes, this is going to be my curry stirring device. So yeah, we'll take all of that bark off, revealing the green inside. That's pretty good. Yeah, nice one, Chris. And can't help myself, but if you wanted to create fine material for starting fires, you can use the knife at a 90-degree angle, and then you'll get that. It's really good. And if you wanted to, you can use the spine of the knife, which feels pretty sharp as well, and it will do the same thing. Obviously, doing fires, you can either dry it out or use a piece of deadwood, which is probably the better way. But it just goes to show you how versatile some knives are, and you're never going to get that if the spine of your knife isn't sharp at 90 degrees, which this one is, so that's good. So that would be absolutely great for using the ferro rod, no problem at all. In fact, you know, if you're going to be using a knife to strike ferro rods, do some research first, because you don't want to end up with a knife with a rounded spine, because you're not going to get that contact angle, which you're going to need to remove the ferrocerium at speed, therefore creating a spark. So yeah, I'm loving this. Well done, Chris. And Chris if you're going, mate, I hope you are. I hope you and Faye are going to the prepper meet this year. Be nice to have a chin wag, mate, over the old campfire. I know Dale, Dirty Room Knives, Wessex Plates is going. I need to contact Sandy to try and get Sandy to go. That's the holy trinity in my book. Scott, Sandy and Dale. Top 3 knife makers in the UK, in my opinion. So, also, whilst we're on the subject of 2 of those guys, Dale, if you're watching, mate, can you bring your mouth organ along? And Scott, can you bring your banjo? And if you're watching, Cornish Bob, can you bring your instrument as well? I think it's a guitar. I'm not sure. So it'd be good to have a few of the guys bringing some musical instruments along around a campfire like we've done a few years ago. Don't bring anything that needs an amplifier and electric guitar. No, please don't do that. So we want to make it a nice laid back event, okay? Because I think we all could do with a break. And for 30 odd quid for 3 nights in a really nice location in Brecon Beacons, in the heart of Wales. The weather's going to be nice, so it's going to be really good. Tickets are selling pretty good, so if you want to know more about the UK Summer Prepper Meet, the original one, the one that started back in 2013, there are many imitators, but not the original. This is the original, and we've got a good vibe, a good crowd down there. And if you want to bring stuff to sell, swap, give away, go for it. So there we go. There's going to be our curry stirrer for this evening. Right, what I thought I'd do is I'm just going to get a really small quick fire going, because I really want to burn off all of that green which I just carved from that stirrer. So rather than do a great big fire now and draw attention to myself, I'm just going to do a real small one just to burn off that little stick. Now I'm going to be using these. Some of you probably know what they are. Maybe some of you don't, I don't know. But these have been in use for a long, long time over in the US and favoured by some of our guys in Special Forces. Now, here is one. It's a trioxane bar, okay? These are fantastic. If you want a fire quick, fast, in a hurry, these things, they last years. So shout out to Ian, Woody Wood Prepper, who I saw at the prepper meet. It blew my mind. I had no idea I'd see this guy. I haven't seen him for a long time, and then here he turned up with Brummy as well. Awesome. So mate, if you're coming to the prepper meet, can you bring some more? I love these things. I can't seem to find them anywhere, so I'm going to be using one just to get that thing burnt off, and I'm going to be using another one to start the main fire when it gets a bit darker. So there's our little fire lay. I've got 2 little sticks, one there and one there. So we're going to put the trioxane bar in the middle, and then we're going to put this pile on the top once it gets going. And we don't want it going on for too long, but we want it long enough so we can singe all of this. I already had a little go with my lighter, and you can tell I've just made it all flat. It just makes it easier to get all of the bits of food which could get stuck to the bottom. So that's our plan so far. That's what they look like inside. It's old, as you can tell, but let's see, Ian, if these things work, mate. There we are. They smell great, by the way. So we put that to one side so we don't get it lost. So you have to be careful with these because they burn pretty much invisible, all right? So you have to be careful. That's it. All you got to do. Real simple. You probably can't tell, but that's absolutely on fire right now. All right. There's the smoke. So in a sec, we're going to have our fire so we can burn off all of this stuff. So you probably could, you know, stick this in food, but I always err on the side of caution when it comes to field hygiene with food and water. I'm not joking. You know, you could disrespect it, you can get dirty and filthy, and one day you are seriously going to come a cropper. The problem we got, as you can tell, is the wind direction.
seems to want to go wherever it freaking wants. The windy mountains of Wales. See what I mean? Wow. So yeah, that's all we're going to do. Just a small fire to do a small job, basically.
Just a quick one. Before I lit that fire, you may have noticed lots of shavings in the bottom. Now, that was created whilst I was making the pointy stick to hold the lantern, which is up on the tent there, and also carving up that little stirrer. I'm an absolute advocate on leaving no trace, okay? If I was to pack up everything and leave all of those shavings there, someone could come along and they would absolutely know that it's out of place and someone's been here. So hence it went in a fire. Eventually it will get so hot, all of that's going to get burnt off, and then I'm going to cover it over once it's cooled, and then job done. Leave no trace. I can't begin to tell you how important that is, people. It just boils my pee when I go to some woodlands over here in Wales and I see all sorts of stuff left. It's a blatant sign that people have been there. So we want to leave it as we found it. And also, one day, your life could seriously depend on it. Someone's following you, etc. Don't give him any chances to find you, leaving trails to where you probably are going to end up staying. All right? Important tip. Well, here's a bit of an update. That's been on for over an hour now, and you can just tell by putting your hand up there that it's warm. It's absolutely working like it should, and the report so far is there's 0 mozzies, insects, anything around this area. I'm not sure how far the distance is from that, which it becomes effective. There's 3 settings. So I'm currently got it on super, which is the biggest setting, and when I'll go in my tent, that's going to be on tent mode when I'll get inside. Why wouldn't you want your cider nice and cold? So there we go. Hopefully that should be nice and chilled for later on. And let's hope it doesn't wander down the stream. In fact, I might put a rock behind it just to make sure. Well, it's about that time where we're thinking about food, because I'm starting to get a little bit hungry. So we're going to be using our old friend. Now, most of you probably know what this is. Some probably won't. This is a Trangia Swedish mess kit. Now, this is such a versatile bit of kit. A good friend of mine back in the day, Gareth BKW, absolutely said that these bomb proof. Okay, you can get them in aluminium and stainless steel. I've got both. Just for this trip, I decided to pick the aluminium one out. So what we can do is we can take it out. Oh, put that down there. This is the burner or the windshield. As you can tell, you've got the little rings there. So what we can do, this is going to be particular interesting when we see coffee, real coffee being made tomorrow morning. So basically you can bend those rings and your little pot will sit on the rings. Okay, in the bottom is a circle, and we're going to show you the stove, the burner should I say, inside. Now obviously make sure that you make use of space. It's pointless carrying these empty. I always fill mine up with what I'm going to need. So kitchen roll, I'm not joking, sometimes it's worth its weight in gold out in the field. We got some methylated spirits in the original bottle. You can see the 3 crowns on there, being Swedish military, and yes, full up. So we put that to one side. We've got this, which is one of my favourite pieces of kit. I was very lucky to find this. I think it was a car boot sale when I used to live down south. Look at that. Genuine World War II British infantry issue KFS. I don't know if you can tell on the knife. I might drop a photograph in because it's ages. It takes a while to focus on this bloody phone. But anyway, yeah, these are worth their weight in gold. I paid £3 for these. I've seen these go for sale for about £80 to £100 a set. So if you see something like this in a charity shop or a car boot sale, grab it. Okay, it's all aluminium, lightweight. It's got a folding release catch there, and they all come apart. You can just tell by the divots and the dimples, and they just hold themselves together. The cool thing about it though, the blade is stainless steel, and me being me, I literally made that razor sharp, and you can absolutely cut yourself with this. The reason being is if I'm cutting through steak or sausages, I don't want to be putting more pressure than I need. If you've got a knife and it's blunt, it's not a knife in my book. So yeah, very, very honoured to find those. And I'd love to know the story who PW is. Maybe someone watching will know initials of someone who served in World War II. So we're going to carefully put that back together. Really cool little set. And here is the burner. Really cool. Again, you can tell. I might have to drop some photographs in because it's crazy with this. But yes, basically, you undo it, and inside is a rubber ring. All right. When this is no longer needed, i.e., there's still flames on there. Okay, I've seen people just put it like that, and the heat in there could absolutely ruin your rubber ring. So when you are going to be snuffing it out, a good tip is to remove that ring first, and then all you do is you just drop it on top. It snuffs it out. It goes out instantly, and you can actually carry meths in there as well. It all burns through those holes. It's a very cool design. It's the genuine Swedish military one. I have got the other one with a little simmer ring, but to be fair, infantry haven't got time to wait for things to simmer. Catch my drift. It's true, no joke. And I robbed one of my French MREs. We got some toilet paper in a cool little pack. We got a couple, look at that, combat fuel. A little snacky bar and a little energy fruit bar as well. Very nice. And look at that, the Arc de Triomphe matches, just in case my lighter fails. And of course, the Tesla free energy gathering device. Some of you know what I'm talking about, many probably won't, but there you go. So that is it. Good thing about these pots, that's where my curry's going to be going in, is you can hang them over a fire. And there is certain tips that you can do with this to hang it, but that's a whole new ball game. Some of you know what I'm talking about, but yeah, there's a reason why there's a second lip on there. All right, it's a really cool design, let's put it that way. So a great bit of kit. You can find them all over the place online. If I can find them on Amazon, I'll drop a link below so you can grab yourself one. They are really good. They're worth the weight in gold, actually. I do recommend them. And if you're funny about aluminium, there is a stainless steel one available. They are becoming rare as Rockinol's poo knows. So if you see a stainless steel one and it's going cheap, go for it. I've seen them go for 150 up to £300, and I'm not exaggerating. That's just how crazy things have got. I've been doing this since 2012, and there's other YouTube guys and whatever else doing it way before me. So back in them days, it wasn't too bad. It was still quite rare then, but now it's extra rare. So yes, that's the Swedish mess kit, which we're going to be using very soon now. Wow, today's going lovely. It really is. It's like perfect film conditions. You know, we got like lots of grey cloud, which is, believe it or not, pretty good for making vids. But when the sun comes out, it's good, providing you know where to put the camera, etc. A little rule of thumb is always make sure that the sun is behind the camera, not the other way around. You'll end up silhouetting yourself. Anyway, I'm looking at the horizon now, and an old rule of thumb is you put your arm out at full length, okay, and you use your fingers, and the bottom finger you put on the horizon like so, and then when you see the sun, 3 fingers, that tells me it's 45 minutes, 15 minutes a finger, okay. So you put your hand out there and the sun is there on this one, So these 3 fingers, yeah, 15 minutes a finger. So yeah, 45 minutes time, it's going to be sundown, which means cooler. So I'm already starting to feel the temperature drop now. When I looked at my arms now and again, there's goosebumps. So that's a sure sign. So all I'm going to do now is just pop a layer on. I'm going to use my windproof smock. It's just perfect, you know. You can get the original genuine ones like I've got there, and they're quite thin. But what that does is you don't want to be too hot. So this is why it's important to check the weather, see what you're comfortable with, and take the kit that you feel that you need to make sure that you're not going to get cold or too hot. So I'm going to whack the smock on now, and if it does get colder, which I doubt, but if it does, I've got base layers and stuff like that in there, and a wool hat. Also, another good point of thumb to remember is I've already got my head torch just sat on that lantern there, and I've brought my hat and my long johns and stuff, etc., to the front of the tent, because as soon as it starts getting cold, boys and girls, that's the time when you should be layering up. All right, it's easy to function that way rather than to get cold and then try and warm up. Okay, it's just common sense. Right, it's time for blood. Look at that. Bloody hell. So yes, this is going to be fun, isn't it? So I think we need to get our little EDC out, which I've been carrying for a long time now. It's the BRECON 1, the cold steel. Titus, if you're watching, all the time, bro, all the time. So let's move our bit of kit and equipment out of the way. And let's open her up, shall we? Yes, it's sharp. No good carrying a blunt knife. It's not big, it's not clever. So if you've got a blunt knife, please sharpen it. Do yourself a favour. In fact, it's safer having a sharp knife than it is a blunt one. It's true. You try forcing things with a blunt knife and you have a mishap, you're more likely to hurt yourself. If it's sharp and you're respectful and you know what you're doing, you'll be fine. All right. So again, we're going to be using the water that we got from the stream earlier to go into our little stew. We're going to fill up our little Trangia burner. It's going to be stirred with the sterilised stick. Yes. We've got in the bag, we've got some rice, and I've dumped some curry powder in there as well. Why wouldn't you? And I believe in there is a beef stock cube as well. So what I want to do is to boil all this beef, and it's a lot of beef. It's quite a lot actually. So yes, we're going to let that cook as long as I feel it needs to. When it starts to feel like it's soft, more water goes in, then the rice goes in, and it's all going to amalgamate and end up with a nice big pot of loveliness. Yes, of course. So it's no good being empty. Fill your pots, lads. You know, makes sense. So there's no lovely way to do this. So we're just going to get down and dirty, okay? Yes. In we go with some dead cow. My word, there is rather a lot of beef here. I got this for 2 or 3 of us. Stayed in the freezer for a while. I was a bit pushed for time, so I thought, you know what? Let's go for an absolute meat fest. All right. I'm just going to literally pour the blood into the stream and let it just carry on its merry way. I've brought a carry bag with me, so anything rubbish wise or whatever it is, I'm taking it out with me. Leave no trace. I'm not joking. And here we go. Isn't that gross? So yes, we got blood. So we're going to lose that. Yeah. Let's wipe our hands on the floor, because that's what the floor is for. And my God, look at that. Can you believe that? Yes, there's rather a lot, isn't there? So
we're going to set that down there, and we're going to use the water that we purified earlier. So 1, 2, 3, that's all you need. Undo the lid, and we turn our little pointy thing upwards. Yeah. I'll tell you what I've been noticing. There's a few guys online using all different water filters, and one thing that I feel is a bit alarming is some people are more interested than the flow rate. If you've got a water filter that flow rate's really fast, just think of what the actual filter is doing, okay? To me, this is absolutely acceptable for what's coming out of here. I would say the faster it is, it's probably not being filtered as it probably could be. So it's just a pointer there, people. I'll have to get some more water, I think, because this is really, I think I've got far too much beef here, to be fair. So it is what it is. And I've got a feeling this pot's going to be right up to the top with the rice in there. So I think I'm going to go to the stream and get some more water, because the window is telling me that is pretty much empty now. So we'll turn him off, put lid on, and go and get some more. We've literally just covered the beef, but I want more in there, okay? I want it to start cooking down. What I will do, before I forget, and I probably will forget, Naomi, is I'm going to put my little stock cube in there, all right? I've been using them stock cubes for donkey's years now. Kalo, really, really good. And it's organic as well. So to make it even more beefier than it already is, we're going to totally beef it up. There's no need to break it up. Just chuck it in. That's all you got to do. And with all of your rubbish, don't just throw it everywhere. I'm centralising it all in one place, right there. And when I get around to it, it's going in the carrier bag. So I think what I'll do is I'll put that over there out of the way. Incidentally, I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but the lid is also a frying pan. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to be making my coffee in that and drinking it from this. Once I've done that, I'm going to clean it up. Then we've got bacon grill, beans, curry powder, and HP sauce. Some of you guys remember my early videos 13 years ago now. Yeah, we're going back to that school. Yes, sir. So we're going to put that on there because we don't want that getting knocked over, or we don't want anything landing in there, do we? So let's go and get some more water, I think. You notice I'm filling it. The stream direction is going that way. If you turn it around and face it towards the stream, you're going to get more debris, more bits and bugs and God knows what in there, making the filter work even harder, therefore probably lasting not as long as it could be, as if you was holding it the other direction. So, same again, clean and dry, pump, prime, Bosch, in the stew it goes. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. That's all you need. Undo the lid. Put that there. Speaking of lids, right, we're going to take this off as well. And we are going to put some more water in. I think that will do. So we put that. What I like to do is depressurize it. It just makes it last a bit better. So I think it's time that we got this curry on the go, don't you? Right, okay, let's put him out there, out of the way. This I've had to move down here because our friends have turned up. So I'm not joking. As soon as I've put it down there, it looks like probably about 2 meters. There's nothing around. So that's really, really cool. So we can pop him there. We're going to go our Trangia burner now. Looks like there's already some remnants in there from an old trip before. So this is going to go on for quite a while, so I'm going to fill her up. I'm going to give that a while to settle down a bit and fill up the little reservoir around the rim inside. Really cool bit of kit actually. There's a bit of a close-up for you. That's what we're going with today. One of the reasons for this is it's very quick. There's no smell, there's no noise, and it works very, very well, as you'll see in a minute. I would say that's probably enough for now. So make sure that that's tight as well. We don't want to lose any of that. It's precious stuff. And let's get the show on the road. So I'm going to put that in there, making sure that this is as level as we can possibly get it. It's really, really important. It will all become apparent when we are doing the cooking, because I suspect that this little pot here, oh God, it's heavy, is going to be boiling away like an absolute nightmare. Here's a little tip. Just find a stick. It doesn't matter if it's dead, alive, wet, whatever it is. All you do is you just touch it in the bottom where the methylated spirits is. We light it and we put it in there. That's all we have to do. Done. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now we're going to have a good look. I want to bring you into this so you can see it coming out of the jets. Pretty much ready to put the pot on now. You can tell it's coming through the little jets there. Well, I've just spent ages, about 10 minutes, getting all of the scum off the top. Look how gross that is. This is the standard of British beef these days, people. It's not good, but if you can boil it and catch it before it all amalgamates, you don't want to be really eating that. So, look at that. Woo! Yep, she's going like a charm now. Every minute, she's getting softer. Wow, would you look at that? We're losing the light, as you can tell, disappearing through that forest over there. And yeah, I'm glad I put my smock on when I did, because the temperature is noticeably different now. So always pays to think ahead. So yeah, we're going to wait for quite a while for that stew to do its thing, and then we'll be putting the rice in probably about 10 minutes before the end, maybe a bit more. And yeah, looking good. Wow, I love this time. I love the transition from the light to the dark. It's really cool. I've been seeing bats. I haven't heard any owls yet. It's probably, whoa, it just went over my head. This is magic. I'll tell you, I'm so glad that I'm back doing what I love doing, what I really love doing. So yes, I'm glad you guys are hanging around and seeing what I'm getting up to out in the wilds. But I really do think it's time to put on a base layer and my wool hat. Because yeah, we all know the heat escapes through our head and the temperature's dropping. They reckon it's going to get down to 5 or 4 degrees tonight. So yeah, very, very chilly. So hopefully I'm going to be okay. I should be okay by the fire, not a problem at all. But in that tent, in that sleeping bag, I think I'm going to be absolutely warm, no problem at all. I need to keep this close because them little buggers are out there. They're out there and they're trying their best to get a piece of me, but they ain't. Not a chance. Yes, night mode. Okay, it's night time. Ooh, yes, I know. Oh, God, I'll tell you what, you got to time it just right. Just as you starting to feel a little cold, stop everything and sort yourself out. So I've got my, I can't remember what it's called. It's a Canadian almanac or something like that. It's a base layer on top of my t-shirt, swap back on, wool hat on and head torch. And I've already got it set to red. There we go. So yeah. Man, it's been such a long time since I've been up to this sort of thing on my own. I've done that bovvy camp with Mike, Cheshire Wanderer, not that long ago, but it's always good to do it on your own. It's really cool. A guy I follow, I think his name's Gareth, East Anglian Bushcraft. Shout out to you, mate, if you're out and about out there. He summed it up perfectly. You know, he's getting invites from left, right, and Chelsea. People want to go camping with him, but you know, for him and for me as well, it's a good mental health thing. You know, when you come out here on your own, you're entirely self-sufficient under your own steam, and you know, you try new things, you have different ideas, and you know, to bring you guys along as well it's just awesome. It's really awesome. You know, one of these days, if I can get enough signal and data and all the rest of it, I might try and do a live stream doing this. But I'm absolutely fraught with technical cock-ups. So it could be a nightmare. But for now, I just love being back doing the overnighters. And you can probably hear the stew guggling away down there. So, yeah, it's really cool to see that moon up there as well, which I've just videoed. Yeah, you can really see it's just starting to really quieten down now. And I love this time, you know, just before it gets dark, you know, when all of the birds slowly quieten down. Even the sheep have all left. They've probably gone and bugged out to an RV to all hunker down for the night, but it's not around here, which is good. But I don't know what time the sheep are going to stir. It happened to me once camping up Penny Fan and Brecon Beacons when I woke up and there's sheep everywhere. So I think they're early birds, the sheep, aren't they? So we'll see. But yeah, we're just going to have to wait for that curry to do its thing. And I'll be bringing you along with that, trust me. So apologies if you're hungry. You're going to be starving once you've seen the dinner. Okie dokie. How are we looking? Yep, it's been on for a long time. Now it's time for our rice and curry powder infusion, turning a beef stew into a beef curry, as if by magic. And of course, we got our special stirry stick, very, very important. Oh my God, you could, if only you could smell that. Hopefully the rice will give off the starch and thicken it as well, because I've got no gravy granules or tomato puree to thicken it, so we're just going to cook it down. Might have to have the lid off later to do that, to reduce it. So let's put the turbo pot on the top and carry on the game. Oh yeah. Right, the moment of truth. Oh look, looky here. Doesn't that look rather delightful? Oh my God, how am I going to eat all that? Gee whiz. Well, it's that time. It's taken a long time actually, to be fair, but look at that. Look at that beef. Oh man, smells amazing. Mmm. Wow. It's so soft. Mmm. God. Oh my days.
That is actually heavy, and it's full up to there. All of that. I'm actually thinking I might have to reheat half of this for breakfast. That is a lot. I don't know about you guys, but I'm 53 now, and I seem to get full up a lot sooner than I used to. You guys the same? I used to eat a massive roast dinner, a massive fried breakfast, but now I'm finding I'm eating about half of it or just over. Suppose it's getting old. Time waits for no man, you know. I'm going to tuck into this delicious beef curry. Looking at the moon, listening to the stream. And when I'm done, I think it's time to get that fire going. I don't know what it is, but my G10 is 8 years old. So the battery's going a bit funny. So all the times I've been giving you lately are probably all wrong. I looked at my watch earlier and it was half an hour out. So I just wound it forward and it's now saying it's 10:15. Oh my God. Anyway, I'm going to tuck into this gorgeous stuff and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, it's that time again and we're using the same old Captain Trioxane. My God, this stuff absolutely never fails. Even if it's donkey's years out of date, it will always do its thing. Right. So, I'm going to try and drop it in right there. That's how quick it is. Holy cow. We're going to get ourselves a survival fire. Hey Lars, how you doing, bro? Oh my goodness. Yes. I can't tell you how much I've been looking forward to this. Yes, sir. Well, as you can tell, it's not going to take too long for that to do its thing. Oh, the warmth. Oh. My little pinkies are getting a little bit cold, but nothing too drastic. So yeah, once this little lump is all up, as it were, we can start putting the main fuel logs on. But check that out. It didn't take long. That's in real time. Look, I might have to sit back a bit, I think. So let's wait for that to do its thing. My goodness. It's a rocket stove. I'll tell you what, there's hardly any smoke, so that's good that we figured out that all of the wood that we gathered was absolutely dry, which is it's a bonus. Oh man, that's lovely. It's absolutely warming me up too. Woohoo! Bit of softwood in there then. Awesome. Ah, there we go. The fire's just right now. And I just went to the stream and got my friend. So we're going to open that now. It's nice and cold. I've just dried it all off. So we are good to go. Yes, sir. So check it out. Possibly the world's smallest bottle opener. Always carry this Leatherman Squirt PS4. Unfortunately, they're discontinued now, like most good stuff. But there's probably stuff similar. So, yep. Yes.
Look at that. It worked. That's cool. Cheers, people. 8.2% of the world's finest. Nice one, Henry. It's sure good to be back. Boy, do I need this break. I bet you do too as well. Yeah, I bet you do. Whoa, that's really good stuff, I say. So here we go. We're kicking back in front of that lovely fire, and you can probably hear the stream. I don't know if you can, but I certainly can from here. And I've decided to sit about 3 foot back from the edge, because I'm not joking, if I sat there I would be gently cooking myself. So yeah, lesson learned. Maybe next time do it about 1 foot away, maybe 2 foot away. But I'm lovely and warm from here, and there's no way on this earth I'm going to be cold tonight. With a nice big belly full of hot food, sitting in front of a nice fire for at least an hour or two, and climbing into an Arctic sleeping bag with base layers, t-shirts and a smock on and a wool hat. So yeah, 5 degrees, kiss my ass. Yeah, baby. Wow. I'll tell you what, I'm going to propose a toast now to absent friends, the guys and girls who are no longer with us that still mean a lot to us. Cheers, guys. Well, I'll tell you this much. It certainly brings it home, you know. It really does. And, you know, I've been saying this sort of advice for years now, and it's high time I started listening to it for myself. Because I'll tell you this much, if any of you guys are struggling mentally with all sorts of stuff, something like this really does unwinds the mind, you know. It really, really does. Being out in nature, and we've got the elements, you know. We've got the water, we've got the air, we've got the earth, we've got the fire, and we certainly got the spirit. And I'm telling you this for free of charge. This is a game changer. So for you guys who used to do wild camping a long time ago, make time and have a go. Get back out there. I'll tell you what, it's hookable. Yeah, it's addictive. I am not kidding. This is superb. Seriously. And you know, we all know pretty much what's going on around the world, and we don't need to keep banging on about it, but you know, doing something like this really does take you away from all of that stuff. And to be honest, all of the time I've been out here, and it's going to be for at least 24 hours, you know, I'm not even thinking of anything other than what I'm doing. And of course my partner, I miss her dearly. I wish she was here. Hey darling, you're going to love this, you know. One of these days we're both going to go out, and yeah, you will see what I mean. It's awesome. It really, really is. You know, lots of people go out in the woodland in the day, you know, but to be out here and to witness it get dark and to be entirely self-sufficient, you know, practicing skills, learning new skills, trying different techniques, re-evaluating old kit to new kit. It's absolutely really, really good for you, you know. It's certainly good for me. And you guys watching who can't come out and do this, I hope that you feel that you're here with me. Because if that's the case, my job is done, you know. I just love coming out doing this. I really, really do. I'm speaking from the heart now, right? I absolutely do. And I just wish more people could make an effort to actually do this if they can, you know. Make it a priority, you know, because there is nothing a screen can do to top this. Not a chance. You know, being here, doing it, you know, with everything, the smells of the forest, the breeze on your face, the smell of the smoke, the sound of the stream, the moon up in the sky, the stars, and just no one to mess with you. No road traffic noise, nothing. It's really, really good for the soul. It's good for him too. Whoops, totally unwound. You see? It's all about frequency. And the vibes I'm picking up from out here, wow, you just can't get it on a screen. Guaranteed. Well, that's me. That's me done. It's practically midnight right now. And we've got lovely moonlight, so you can see loads. You don't really need torches, to be fair. The fire's entering its last stage now. So it almost is getting burnt out, a bit like me, really. But yeah, it's been an absolutely amazing evening. You know, we had bats going around, all of the wildlife, the birds, has all calmed down now, and all we got left is the remnants of the fire and the trickling of the stream, and a very, very, very chilled out Uncle Funky, for sure. I am not pulling your chain, Jack. It really is the ticket. So I just want to say thanks so much for supporting me in everything I do. It's been really heartfelt, especially when I triggered the GoFundMe campaign and the other ways to donate. You know, it's all below. All the links are below anyway, and you guys know who you are. I can't thank you enough for just giving me that little push to get through and to start getting time to come out and do things like this. And I'm already planning another overnight very soon, sometime next week. So yeah, I'm definitely hooked on this again. And I know some of you guys will be very, very happy to hear me say that. So yeah, it really does feel good to be back. I can't begin to, you know, let it sink in, really. It's just been a crazy journey. And, you know, my mind's been wandering all over the place looking at the fire, as you do. And, you know, like I said, there's people who aren't here anymore. You know, we're thinking of like Savas, Effie Jr., LB Custom Knives, Lee. We're talking Grumash or Nicest Knives, Jim, Stony Boat Bushcraft, and, you know, there's many others. And, you know, it really hits home. You know, I was going through my email. I've got a folder in there for addresses of people that I know, and going through there thinking, oh my God, it's gone, it's gone, it's gone, it's gone. It does make you think, you know, life is so precious, so amazing, and so short, you know. So I think it's a good idea to do whatever you can to find time in nature, especially during freaking mental times like this. You know, Blur done an album, Modern Life is Rubbish, and it's true. It absolutely is. You know, the more I've found being away from technology and the more time in nature and away from screens is an absolute tonic, you know. It really, really is. And, you know, for all of you people, loads of people messaging, comments, emails, you know, recently I just needed an absolute shutdown. So I apologise if I haven't got back to you. I just needed to find time for myself and indeed my loving partner, Rachel, too. And we've had a blast in the last week or so. It's been absolutely amazing. So I feel totally reinvigorated and ready to hit the ground running with more videos like this. So wait till the morning. There's more fun and frolics to come. So you guys take care. Good night, and we'll see you in the morning.